Basic entry-level cargo trailer are not designed for everyday working or making a living. The cost of an aluminum skin versus an all steel, these are going to be cheaper, and they're cheaper for a reason. The thing with that is, it's just not going to last. Again, steel trailers are not all created equal. You're gonna have a screw loose, you're gonna have to put it back on, and you're gonna have an impossible time finding the specialty bit that reinstalls it. When it comes to aluminum cargo trailers versus steel cargo trailers, there are a lot of questions that can and maybe need to be asked to see what's going to fit your need the best. And let me say this before we get into it, this is just my opinion from using both of these for various purposes and servicing them for years. When it comes to aluminum skin trailers, there is a lot of difference between different manufacturers. They're not all created equal. There's low end junk, if you will, and then there's upper end. Then they make an all aluminum cargo. We're not going to talk about the all aluminum cargo. What we're going to talk about today is going to be a steel frame structure and undercarriage with aluminum skin on it. And on the steel trailer, it's going to be an all steel trailer. So everything underneath, sidewall construction, sub, and roof is going to be steel, with both of these being a wood floor. So just note that. One of the biggest things that I see is maybe some misadvertisements on trailers, some misinformation given to the end consumer when they make that purchase. So today we're going to talk about a few things. I'm going to cover maybe 4 or 5 things that I think will help you get started and ultimately make your decision on which one's going to be best for you. I'm going to give you one example that will determine it, in my opinion, which route you go. So stick around to the end of the video and I'll give you my 2 cents. Remember, when you go to click to subscribe, hit the like button, give us a thumbs up, do all the things. Leave us a comment, leave us video ideas, give us some feedback. If you've pulled an aluminum skin or an all steel, which one works best for you? So we're going to start with the aluminum skin steel frame trailer. We'll kind of go over the pros and cons. So we're going to talk about durability, strength, maintenance, cost, and the ability to customize, to make changes to fit whatever needs you may be using it for, whether it be for work or for play. So let's start with the aluminum skin. As I said, this unit here has limited fastener sidewalls on it, so you only have screws on the joint. It's using adhesive in between the outer seams, so all your studs is either using a VHB style tape or it's using a panel bonding adhesive. This is what I prefer. I like it both ways, either no fastener or limited fastener. They usually put a little thicker aluminum on. In the cargo trailer industry, the low end cargos are going to have 025 aluminum, which is about like a Coke can. The better ones are going to have 040, so it's not going to wrinkle up as much. It's just going to last a little bit longer and going to give you some better sidewall strength. So the durability of this trailer, let's talk about that. That's the question we get. A lot of people will come in and they're going to buy a trailer similar to this and they're going to use it for their business, whether that be landscape, whether that be mobile mechanic, hauling furniture around, whatever it might be. These trailers in this scenario, a basic entry-level cargo trailer, are not designed for everyday working or making a living. Now we'll talk about it if you can utilize it for that a little bit later, but if you're going to make this a mobile mechanic shop, this is not going to last. So the durability on that, you may only get a year or 2 out of it. As far as the warranty goes, warranties is a whole other video that we'll cover at some point. Depending on what you utilize the trailer for, can or cannot void warranties. So in my opinion, aluminum skin steel frame cargo trailer is not going to be your best option if you're going to use it for work or everyday use. If you're pulling it 5 or 6 days, maybe you're an electrical contractor, plumbing contractor, you're going to have to weigh it, hypothetically speaking, which one and what is going to give you the most bang for your buck. The next thing will be the strength of it. The durability is going to be how long it lasts. The strength is going to be what can it carry. Typically, this style trailer is going to carry less weight than a steel unit. There's quite a bit of maintenance. We're going to cover a few things on maintenance. Your undercarriage, your running gear is going to be about the same maintenance you would have as an all steel trailer, unless you're doing torsion versus spring axle. Both units come with both. You can get steel with both axle setups. You can get aluminum skin with both axle setups. The areas on this style trailer that you're going to do some maintenance on would be like a travel trailer, RV, or a motorhome. All of your seams are going to have silicone or some type of sealant on there that is going to have to be addressed over time. If you are like us and you're in Texas and it's out in the elements and it's in the heat and the weather, it's going to wear out the roof sealant on there, so that's going to have to be scraped off. It's going to have to be replaced. You may only get 1 to 1.5 years out of that if it stays out in the sun baking all the time. And then any place where it's going to have caulk. You have to also be careful if you wash this trailer. If you use a pressure washer, just like on many RVs, if you pressure wash it, you can affect the sealant where they've got it caulked, where the trim meets the side panel. Some manufacturers, if you pressure wash, that will void the warranty. So these do have some maintenance. The cost of an aluminum skin versus an all steel, these are going to be cheaper, and they're cheaper for a reason. The last question, the ability to customize. We see all different kinds of things from, cargo trailer conversions into like a small camper, putting shelving in it for your plumbing company, electrical contractor, tools, maybe you're, cabinet guy, maybe you install doors, all different kinds of, maybe you're hauling your Harleys in here. When it comes to the ability to customize, you can do about the same in either unit. It's just a little bit different method on how you're going to install, and we'll cover that when we walk on the inside, and I'll kind of show you the differences. So inside your aluminum skin steel structure cargo trailers, you're going to find some form of wall liner. That may be OSB, it may be plywood, or it may be Luan. On your low end cargo trailers, the sidewall is going to be covered just in what is used for trim in here. It's going to be like a 5mm Luan. This has 3/8 plywood. They're using the 5mm Luan just to cover up the joints in the plywood. So you can screw some stuff to this. Like I said, it is 3/8 plywood. There is a 1-inch air gap behind it, so you can penetrate behind that. The ceiling is usually going to be, unless you've ordered it with a line ceiling, it's going to be open. The piece of Luan in the center is just there to help pop the roof up and to keep the roof from rubbing on the crossbars. One question we get asked, can I take the plywood out? You can take the plywood out if you're going to put foam or do wiring or something behind it, but it has to go back in. This is structure for the trailer, so you cannot utilize this style trailer without some type of liner in it, whether it be plywood, OSB, or 5mm Luan paneling, because this is structure. This also has a 3/4 plywood floor in it, so you can screw motorcycle chocks. This has 4 D-rings in it. We do see people use this for landscape trailers. We see them use it, electrical contractors. I have several customers that do that. The thing with that is, it's just not going to last. So that's just some things to look for if you go looking for a cargo trailer. I'll tell you, there's a ton of cargo trailer manufacturers out there when it comes to aluminum skin steel frame. There's not near as many in the all steel world, but on these, they're really a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. You really need to do your homework, read your customer reviews, call around, get some pricing, get some specs before you purchase ones, because again, they are not created equal by no means. In this style trailer, they will make an upper end unit that's going to have more substructure underneath. It's going to have closer centers on the wall, the ceiling, thicker material, roof, thicker material on the side. So you can opt one of these up. You can even get a double plywood floor in one of these if you're going to be loading like a 0 turn or even a couple of heavy bikes in. That may be an option you want to look at. When you add all that weight to it, that's what you really have to keep in mind. This has 2 3,500-pound axles, so your payload capacity in this is pretty small. If you start adding all that gear and all that stuff in there, you may exceed the weight capacity of the trailer, so you may need to opt up to a larger axle. You may need to go to a 5200 or 6K, whatever they offer at that manufacturer. When it comes to pros and cons, you could really get into the pros and cons, but really what it boils down to is what's going to be best suited for your needs, what you're going to be using it for. So I'm not going to say that the all steel trailer is better than the aluminum skin trailer per se, but there are some huge differences between it. So just look at the trailer you're going to buy, look at what skin it has on the outside and what the interior is made of. That will usually tell you pretty quick if it's a cheap trailer. If it's got 0.25 sheet aluminum on the outside and Luan on the inside, that's going to be for an occasional use. Pull it a couple of times a year, maybe use it for storage around your place. It'll probably do you just fine for that. If you're going to be running up and down the highways, you're probably not going to be satisfied. Either unit will come with ramp or double door, so you can get either option in that, whatever suits your needs for that. That's some basic things on the aluminum skin steel frame trailer. So here we have a WW all steel trailer. These guys have been around forever. They're probably the leader, in my opinion, in the steel trailer market. There are some other manufacturers out there. Some have come and gone. There's still a bunch of them on the road. Again, steel trailers are not all created equal. So when it comes from a durability standpoint, this trailer, if properly maintained and not abused beyond repair, and if you do your maintenance, it is nothing to get 10 to 20 years out of these units. I've had some customers over the years that are in the cabinet business that are pulling goosenecks, have one that's 19 years old and one that's 20 years old, and they've done some repaint and some refurbish on it, but those trailers are still going. You are not going to get that out of aluminum skin steel frame if you're using it semi-commercially or commercially. This unit here is going to last. Some of the differences, this is all steel. It's been primed and painted with an industrial paint, and then all of these seams are seam sealed with an industrial seam sealer. So anywhere where you've got a joint or an overlap or a seam, it has been seam sealed, it has been primed, and then it's been painted. As we go down these, I'll just open the door so you can kind of see. So the door is all steel, it is welded, and the internals are also seam sealed. So this door is very stout. This door compared to the door on a cheaper or aluminum skin cargo trailer is going to be night and day. As we come down the sidewalls, some of the cheaper all steel trailers will just do a butt joint here on the two side panels, and that will crack and begin to leak over the time. This is overlapped and welded to the structure on the inside and seam sealed. Over time, you will see some cracking on this sealant, just like on the cargo trailer, but this is going to last longer, and it's not a lot to put that back together, but you're going to have no screws to pop out. And that's one thing I didn't cover on the aluminum skin. If you have one that has the 5 million screws down the side, if you're pulling that thing up and down the road every day, you need to keep you some extra oversized screws, because those are going to vibrate loose from time to time. That's just part of owning one. Likely not going to be any warranty associated with that, but you can buy an oversized screw and put that in, and I recommend tightening them in by hand. And I'm going to tell you a secret about those screws here in a little bit too, when you're trying to find the specialty bit that goes with them. The fenders on these, instead of being aluminum, they're going to be steel, welded, seam sealed, painted. This one is a bigger trailer, so obviously it has heavier running gear underneath it, but the other trailer, you can get it with heavier running gear underneath it. So that's not really one way or the other, you can get it under both. So inside the all steel WW, one thing you notice, there's no liner in here. There's no wood in here. This is the structure of the trailer. This is the outer skin that is welded and seam sealed to the structure. This bar here is just a tie rail. You'll see the fenders, and if we look down at the floor, this is not a plywood floor. This is a tongue and groove 2x6 treated lumber floor that's going to last forever. Unless you live in a super wet environment, then it may have to be changed at some point in its life. Very rarely will we change a floor in one of these unless they've just been beat to death. A lot of your cheaper all steel trailers are going to have 3/4 plywood. Most of those guys do offer the option to opt it up to a tongue and groove floor. But if you're going to be using it commercially, if you're going to be using it heavy, I'm definitely going to recommend this. This doesn't require the wood liner in it because it doesn't need it for the structure like the lighter weight trailer is going to need. But you can add that. So something you can do, as far as if you need to customize it for a camper or whatever you want to do with it, you can insulate these walls with either a spray-in insulation, or you can use a foam board, build it out to make it flush. And then you can cover these walls with plywood, OSB, whatever type of paneling you want to use with that. And you can do a full finish out. You can put ACs in either one of the trailers, whether you go with the lightweight trailer or this trailer. If you are putting an AC in there, you must insulate the ceiling at least. If not, if you live in a humid environment, it's going to make moisture and it's going to rain on your party in there. So be sure you do that correctly if installed. So every joint in here is seam sealed. It's painted inside and out. This paint will hold up. Yes, it's going to fade over time. The maintenance on this is going to be, if you start getting rock chips on the front or side, you're going to touch those up to keep the rust down. Check your sealant, check your seams, but you're going to have less seams and sealant on an all steel trailer compared to this. When it comes to the strength of this trailer, this is going to be able to carry more weight because it is built stronger than the other one. It's just obvious. One of the things we get asked all the time, what about cost? Well, the cost between these two usually figures as such. This trailer here is usually about 1/3 more expensive, sometimes more, than the lighter weight aluminum skin trailer. How much does it weigh? When it comes to this trailer, it's about 1/3 more heavy than the aluminum skin. So those are some things that you're going to have to factor in. But overall, this trailer will last longer than the other trailer. So that answers the question, right? Well, this is the one I've got to go with. This is the best one. It may not be. The number one factor that's going to decide for you which route you go with, that is going to trump everything, is your budget. You got to do what you got to do to get by, and we get that. We have guys that use the lightweight treaders that are in the landscape industry that will run that thing like a dog for a couple years and then turn around and buy them a new one. That's what works best for them. That's what works best for their budget. So if that's what works best for you, you do that and don't worry about what I think or anybody else thinks on there. So if your budget does not allow for this, you're gonna have to go that route. You may just need to make some changes in that treader just to get some longer life. You may have to do some more maintenance on it. Keep a closer eye on it as you use it, just to get a longer life and so you don't have a breakdown. If your budget allows for this treader, I'm gonna tell you, hands down, go with the all steel. It is gonna last you forever, if forever is what you need. So budget is number one. The second factor that would come into play after you figure out which budget you can do is your tow vehicle. This is a heavy treader. It already weighs at least a third more than the aluminum skin treader. By the time you get all your stuff in it, it's gonna be heavy. If you're pulling this treader like this is a 16 foot, if you throw some stuff in here and try to pull this with your half ton, it's gonna eat it up. But whichever route you go, just do your homework, because again, they're not all created equal. You can buy the aluminum skin treaders that are throwaway treaders in my opinion. You can buy a few steel treaders, the guys that are still left manufactured, that are throwaway steel treaders. Look at the price, look at empty weights on there, look at customer reviews, see how long the company's been in business. For whatever reason, in the cargo treader industry, there's a lot of fly-by-night companies that will change and all the time, and they've been in business a short time. See who's been around, see who's been around the block, see who's had the best reviews and the best hold-up. Ask the people in our communities that are on YouTube. See what the feedback is. You may get some feedback that you don't like, but in my opinion, they're both good treaders if used for the correct purposes. They're both good treaders if one or the other fits your budget. So I'm gonna show you the secret to the screw on the cargo treader if you buy the aluminum skin that you're going to need, because at some point you're going to have a screw loose, you're going to have to put it back on, and you're going to have an impossible time finding the specialty bit that reinstalls it. So for all of y'all that stuck around to the end of the video, when I lose this screw or if I need to remove a screw, where do I find the Torx bit to take it out? So here's a screw. I don't know if we can get a close-up of that. Maybe. Can you see that head in there? Is that going to come in? This looks like a specialty Torx. You'll go to every tool supply there is and you're not going to find it. When you try to stick your Torx in here, you are not going to find it. So here is the trade secret. This is the specialty Torx bit that will take these out, and you can find them at any tool supply or hardware store. It is a number 2 square bit. Doesn't matter which brand. This is a multi-point fastener. It looks like Torx, but it's not. It's just a number 2 square bit. That way you can get the screw in there in a hurry. If one of the teeth fail, it'll try to grab to put it in. So that is the secret. Number 2 square bit for cargo treader screws. This fits 99% of what's out there. There's 1 or 2 manufacturers. They've kind of changed it up. They're using a little bit of different one. Most of those are gonna come out of the Georgia area. So if you live in that area, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Here's the other trade secret. Many times these will get stripped when they're putting them in. They'll put them in too tight and you have to remove it. You put the bit in and it spins. Well, how do you get it out? You try to put vice grips, it's not gonna work. Here's the secret. You're gonna have to take a thin disc on a grinder and you're gonna have to make this into a flat head screw, and then you're going to take this specialty tool, a big flathead screwdriver. You're going to put that in there. Sometimes you can just twist it right out. Sometimes you have to back it up with a pair of vice grips to get it out. That's how we remove them. If we have to do an unskin, it's nothing to have 20 or 30 screws that the heads are stripped and we have to do it. Our guys love it. I love doing it, but that's the trade secret. Number 2 square bit to put it in or out, and if you're in a bind, flathead screwdriver, thin disc on the grinder. We'll leave a link to the bit that is used to remove and reinstall these screws. I'll see if I can find a link to the screws. Sometimes they are hard to get. We keep them by the thousands. We'll also leave a link to the maintenance items needed to just do your PM work on both of these to keep them going. Some items will work on either unit, some are specific to one or the other, so be sure to check that description, the link out in the description below, and to help you find those parts to keep your rig rolling. Hopefully this will help you out if maybe you're thinking about purchasing a treader, whether that be used or new. Just do your homework. Don't jump into it. Figure your budget out, figure what you've got to pull it with out, and we will see you on the next one.